everybody. I'm trying to get everybody in the room. I'm trying to get everybody in here. Hello, hello. I have lots of news, lots of things going on. Hello, everybody. Let me get everybody in here. Hang on. I'm trying, you guys. Hello, hello. Happy Wednesday. Lots of things we're going to talk about. And forgive me, please. My dog is panting. And I know you guys can hear it. I apologize. I'm sorry. She was chasing lizards in the backyard, and I pulled her in here before this started, and now I know she's trying to catch her breath. So sorry about the panting in the background. That would be my English bulldog, and she has breathing issues. As you know, they have short snouts. So lots of things we want to talk about today. I'm very excited. Tomorrow, we're doing a live and in-person at PRC Restoration Company in Carson. It is free to attend. We are providing lunch. You can sign up for that. I'm sure you guys saw that stuff. But here's the neat thing, okay? I'm going to actually do a live Zoom through that so you guys can hear what Dan has to say about the upcoming legislation, because I think that's extremely important, what's going on with the upcoming legislation, and making sure that we vote properly and that we understand what we're up against. Hang on, because I'm still letting people in. Okay, so tomorrow, please note that you are going to get an email today, maybe not until tomorrow, with a link to join the PRC restoration class tomorrow. So you're more than welcome to come join us either via the internet or via in person. I'd love to see you guys. I think it would be great. We're going to be talking about how to prepare yourself for court, and why I'm trying to pull you guys into that and make sure that you're included in that presentation and that live webinar tomorrow along with the in-person is I'm going to talk to you guys in real talk about what's going on with our attorneys and what their objective is. And we're going to be talking about that court process. And remember, you guys have seen those. I've taken this course before, but I always add topics that are current with today's situation. So with that being said, I think it's very important that you understand the mentality of your legal counsel that you're hiring to help protect you, and when you should call them, okay? And why. And I'll be explaining all of that tomorrow. So hopefully you guys have the capability of logging on. If not, my lovely web guy is going to record, host this, and do what we always do and put it back up for you guys if you need it. Yay! Also, there are a lot of in-person events coming up. I know that I'm in Carson on, I want to say November. No, I'm not in Carson. I'm in Koreatown at AGLA headquarters for a live and in-person webinar the first week of November. I want to say it's the 9th, but I think that's a Sunday. So maybe it's the 7th, but it's somewhere right in there. But doing live and in-person at AGLA in Koreatown the first part of the month, and then their installation event is on December 6th. So lots of things going on live and in person. I'll be in LA quite a bit this week, next month, and the first part. It seems like the first week of the next following months, is I'm going to be all over the place. Okay, sorry, blonde. Let's reel me back in. Sorry. Let's talk about what pressing issues you guys have today. And there was one other thing I wanted to really talk to you guys about, and I thought it was really, really important. Okay, let me say this to you, okay? The more and more landlords that are going after tenants, okay, for the money that they owe them after they vacate, I'm seeing more and more of those owners not getting resolution, actually getting into a bigger, more in-depth problem by trying to go poke them to do what's right and pay me, right? It ends up causing this whole other dichotomy and this whole other issue. So if your tenant owes you a small amount of money, and this is me talking to you out loud, and when I say small amount of money, there is no small amount of money right now. Money is tight across the board, across the nation. We don't have wiggle room. Okay, so I get it. But I don't want you to set yourself up for litigation issues later by trying to make them do what's right. Let me tell you guys something, okay? And I know you've heard my Basta story about legal fees, okay? That was insane. An owner won a jury trial, a trial by jury. He won. And when he went to go back after the attorney's fees, that's when things started unfolding on him. That's when things started evolving. And long story short, let me tell you what happened very simply so you follow along, okay? Owner went all the way through a jury trial, won the jury trial, got possession of his property, decided that he wanted to sue for the legal fees because his contract said he could. So he sued for the legal fees and he won. It was $120 something thousand in legal fees. Okay. Opposing counsel, I almost said their name, then filed a reduction in fees. The fees were reduced to $84,000. Still a big chunk of money, and I still would have went after it. Opposing counsel then filed an appeal on the eviction. It went to the appellate court. The appellate court looks at all the I's being dotted and all the T's being crossed. The appellate court learned that there was no phone number on the 3-day notice to pay rent to. You and I both know that that's a defective notice and the case would be void, right? But they didn't find that out in court. So the case went through. Now it's being appealed. So the appellate court rules it as an unlawful eviction. Everything is overturned. There's no ruling against the tenant. Nobody owes any money, and it was an unlawful eviction. And now that tenant is suing that landlord for $500,000 for unlawfully evicting them because they didn't pay the rent.
How did they come up with that amount?
That's just the monetary, the blah, it's what they threw at the blanket. Ridiculous, but it's what they're reaching for. It's either going to be 250,000, 500,000, or it's over $1 million. That's what I've learned. That's where they're going. And all of this because the owner was trying to recoup some of their expenses that they were bleeding while trying to get this tenant out and their property being held hostage against them. It's garbage. It is absolute garbage. And people ask me all the time, Patty, can you give me the name of a good eviction attorney that you trust? No, my screen's not frozen. I am. The reality is we often contact our legal counsel to help us because we're frustrated. The tenant's not doing this and the tenant's not doing this and the tenant's not doing that. And we don't call a divorce attorney when we're having an argument or a disagreement with our spouse and they're not doing what we want because they just sell us a divorce.
Hey, Patty, question. Look,
yeah.
In this situation, isn't the attorney of the landlord is responsible? Number one. And number
yes,
two.
But I wasn't affiliated with that law firm. Yes, you're correct. They can go after that attorney.
Also, the judge in that case doesn't have any responsibility to check all this through before passing all the judgments.
It didn't get caught in the jury trial. Crazy, right? That they can come back later. I pick and choose your battles, okay? If they owe you less than $5,000, call your CPA, write it off on your taxes, claim it as a loss today, okay? Don't go poke them in the eye. It's not worth it at the end of things. And then I got to tell you guys something. I'm going to share a little secret with each and every one of you right now, okay? Patty has been really busy trying to think of different ways to help you, to help not only you, but the person sitting next to you that's in this storm. And we're not on cruise ships, you guys. Some of us are in a life raft. Some of us are in a kayak. Some of us are in a freaking canoe, okay? But the storm's coming. and we're all out there in the water and we're all swimming in it. And we need to bond together so we can weather this storm. And I realized that a lot of this has to do with the regulations that are implemented on landlords. Let me give you an example. You may have a property in the city of LA under RSO, and you can't do rent increases because you're capped, and you can't make the repairs because you're capped. And now you're in this crazy dichotomy where I can't afford to fix anything. I can barely make the mortgage, and now I need to do repairs. The tenant's not paying me the rent because I can't do the repairs. And you got all these things moving on. Guess what Widget did? Widget actually sat down and talked to a lender. Okay. About how we could figure out a way to help these owners right now save their asset. Tomorrow, a new loan called Save Your Asset will be announced. You're welcome. I'm trying. Okay. So I get it, not just in the property management. Yeah, you're telling me how to manage this situation to avoid that big nasty thing. But at the same time, I have this huge cloud of finances hanging over me. So yes, I am now working with a lender to try to come up with a plan to help those of us that are drowning in our investment. And yes, we're calling it a Save My Asset loan. I liked it. I thought it was cool. So you guys give me your opinion, tell me what you think. But yeah, this will be coming out probably tomorrow. And we're working really hard to help get landlords the funds that they need to get through an eviction, get through that settlement offer to get them out, and then rehab the unit and make it rent ready again. So reaching in every direction I can to try to help you guys get you what you guys need the most. Okay, saw something in the chat.
Patty, I have a question for you. I know you mentioned that don't go poking the bear because it can technically kind of backfire on you. Is that just for evictions, or would that be also for small claims as well?
Well, look at it this way. If you're just going to put them in small claims and you didn't do an eviction and they owe you money, they're most likely not going to sue you for an unlawful eviction, which is that lawsuit that comes with that big price tag. Okay. So just somebody that moves out, you can't unlawfully evict them. You didn't go through eviction court. So I wouldn't be too concerned with that part of it. If there wasn't an eviction done, like I said, then that in my mind isn't an unlawful eviction because there was no eviction. So if it's regular small claims, I would leave it as regular small claims and pick and choose your battle. If it starts getting nasty, pick and choose your battle. I mean, is it worth $2,000 to get raked over the coals and have all this headache and stress? And no, it's not. So again, pick and choose your battle. Okay.
Got it. Okay. Thank you, Patty.
No worries. No worries. I see something from Val. Let's see. Kern County, a tenant has let an ivy bush climb up almost the entire side of the house. It's so bad, it looks like it's going to grow through the house and onto the roof. Our agreement says the tenant is responsible for yard and weeds, and landlord is responsible for tree trimming only. This bush has become a monster. The tenant is crying poor as usual. Who is responsible for this creepy vine? Hang on a second, Val, because I know how thorough you are when you ask me a question. So let me think about it. Is this on a CAA lease, Val? And I'm sorry, you guys, this is just me knowing my client. See? Okay. And did you add additional verbiage in regards to the landscaping, or is it verbatim on the lease, how it's written on the lease? I need to see a copy of it so I can answer your question better. just screenshot that paragraph and text me a picture of it, and then I'll help you, okay? Let you know about the vine. I just got to see what it says in the lease contract and see what that language is so that I can help point you in the right direction. Hello, Erin. Oh, I haven't heard from her in ages. Okay, let's hope she logs on. She's logging on, you guys. I'm trying to get her logged on. Says she's joining. Are you here, Erin? Hello, hello. That poor gal has been through the ringer with a tenant in Larso, just so you know. All because the tenant didn't want to pay her rent. Put her through a nightmare. Hello, Erin. I saw that you were joining us. I hadn't seen you in forever in here, so I was like, oh, look at Erin. Hi. All right. Now I'll start with your guys' questions, whatever you guys need, but please know if you're not going to join us for the in-person tomorrow at PRC in Carson, you can log on. You'll be getting an email probably today or tomorrow morning with a link to log on so you can watch that live and in person. Okay. All right. What kind of questions do we got today? Oh, here we go. I've been out of the loop for a while. I'm enjoying post-COVID life and my new wonderful tenant. What have I missed in the last year? Vote no on 33 and yes on 34. Got it, Geraldo? And tomorrow I'm going to be at PRC Restoration Company in Carson for a lunch and learn on how to prepare yourself for court and what's going on in the legal world in today. Where are we today in the legal process? Let me see if I can't get her in here. I'm trying to get her in here. She's just not coming in. Here we go. All right. Anybody have anything that they want to talk about? Any questions they want to ask?
Patty, I have another question. And I know this is for single family San Bernardino. Tenant moved out and used the last month's rent as the security deposit. So I guess they didn't pay me last month's rent. And I know we've discussed this, and $1,500 with the repairs that they had to do is what it came to. So I know that small potatoes in the grand scheme of things, but it's still a lot of money for me. Would you recommend just doing I know I probably won't take them to small claims, but still at least they didn't put an address and I don't have an address on file, but would you at least still make sure that they get that, oh my gosh, the security deposit, like accounting paperwork, so that way they think I could possibly take them to court and kind of have would you at least do that and kind of try to find them, but without actually pursuing small claims?
If you don't send the final accounting paperwork stating where all of their security deposit went within the 21 days, they can sue you for 3 times the amount of the deposit, even though they owe you money.
Yeah, I already sent it to them. They never put an address. They refused to put an address. They said that they would contact me. So I used their last address. And it got...
This is what the tenant's doing. I get you. So what you're asking me is, can you just let that sit there and is that fine, right? Or should you do small claims? If you want to do small claims for $2,000, that's on you. And here's what I'm saying. Because you didn't evict them, I don't see that as a problem. When there's an eviction involved, I'd really pick and choose at that point. And look at it this way: small claims amount now is $12,500. So my thing is, if you evicted them and they owe you more than that, you want to sue them. It's not going to be in small claims because you're over that limit amount. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So with that being said, kind of use that as your judgment. But if they move out doing a whole bunch of damage and you didn't evict, do the small claims. It's not very expensive to go get a money judgment against them. But when there's an eviction involved, really please think about what you're exposing yourself to and call me. We can talk about it. I'll tell you what's going on out there.
Yeah. No, most likely I don't even want to do the small claims, but since I want them to think I'm going to do the small claims, if that makes sense.
Send them a certified letter via demand.
Yeah, I don't have their address, but I figured maybe in a few months their address will eventually post like on Google if you look someone up, or there's even software. Because I did find they bought vacant land and I know where the vacant land is. And so
Hold on.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to know how to get somebody's address after they move?
I know you said do the request, service request, but yeah, it just kind of got sent back to me. I don't know. I feel like it
Do it
didn't.
again. Do it again.
Okay.
Because they may not have put a forwarding address when you did it the first time, but now they may have a forwarding address in play. Are you still
That's-
getting, are you still
yeah.
getting their mail at the property?
Well, someone already moved in, so I don't check the mail anymore. But before, and this was a month after, because it sat there for about a month, we were still getting their mail. And I
They
know
might
I'm
not
not
have put in a forwarding. So yeah, you're just gonna have to wait a bit and try again.
okay. Got it.
No problem. There's Aaron. We were talking about you, Aaron. We were saying that we haven't seen you in forever. Hang on, I'll get to you in a second. After a tenant moved out of Kern County, the hood vent was so greasy it wasn't worth cleaning. Can I charge a tenant for a new one? Consider it damaged, certainly above wear and tear, but it was not new when they moved in. It couldn't be cleaned, Val. It was too deteriorated due to lack of proper housekeeping. Okay, Aaron, here we go. I was telling people why I saw that you were logging on that I haven't seen you in forever and that you had a nightmare tenant in LA that raked you over the coals and did ridiculous things all because she didn't pay the rent. So I was just, that's all I said. I just wanted to share that. Okay, Patty, I have a noise question. Tenant on top floor has a toddler. Tenant on the bottom floor is annoyed by the noise coming from the upstairs unit. What is an appropriate expectation to have of both parties? I don't regulate the noise levels in the apartment community or in the city. That is a regulation for law enforcement, not for me. I'm sorry that you're unhappy living here with the pitter patter of little feet, but I can't discriminate. If it's happening after business hours, then it's a call to the police. Once you have a police report, you get what happens there, right? Be careful. Children are a protected class in the state of California. So we're not going to say children in your unit are making too much noise. What we're going to say is neighboring residents are complaining about noise coming from within your unit. Banging, crying, yelling, screaming, jump roping, batting caging, whatever. I'm being funny now. Sorry. Whew. Yeah, children are a protected class, so don't use the word your children are making too much noise. That's going to get you sued. Residents from within your unit. Occupants from within your unit. Do not reference the child. Do not reference playing. Okay? And that's just me talking to you. And everything I just said is coming at you from a fair housing standpoint. Okay? Got to be very careful when you're messing around with protected classes. Very careful. Same tenant damaged the carpet so much with oil and grease streaks. They must have worked in the oil field as it was complete track of grease going through the room. Of course, I ripped it out uncleanable. However, I upgraded to a different flooring. I hate carpet. Again, the carpet was not new when they moved in, but they destroyed it with black tar. How much can I charge for the damage when I replaced with a better product? I love you. Get an estimate on what it would cost to replace the carpet. And that's how much you charge them. Example, okay? Tenant moves in, uses the living room as a motorcycle repair garage. Sure, you guys can imagine what the carpet looks like. Okay. The only reason I'm saying this is I know because this is a me story. Okay. Tenant used the living room as a motorcycle repair garage. No joke. There was actually parts dip in the kitchen sink. Yeah. So you know. Tenant moves out. Landlord wants to put in tile floor so this doesn't happen again. I mean, let's face it, tiles get broken, but for the most part, they hold up over time. So I got an estimate to replace the carpet because that is damage all day long, not wear and tear. And because it is damaged, they have to pay to replace it. There's no wear and tear allowance. So I'm going to use the carpet estimate, but I'm going to provide the bill that I put in for the tile floor, and I'm going to charge them only for the estimate of the carpet. So the invoice may be for $10,000 for the tile floor I put in, and that's where I'm going to prove that I had to pay that expense. But I'm going to include the estimate for carpet because that's what the tenant would have had to pay in the event that I replaced it like for like. Does that make sense? And if you need me to elaborate more, Val, tell me. Dive deeper, Patty. Get down that rabbit hole. On the same topic of carpet, if there's tenant damage to the carpet, but it's beyond the lifespan, can you still charge for damage? I'm going to put your question in a different perspective, okay? Tenant moves in and the carpet is 3 years old. It was steamed clean. It looked great when they moved in, but it was 3 years old. They move in, they live there 1 year, and they have a dog that pees all over the place. Damage has nothing to do with lifespan. Oh, got it, Patty. Damage and lifespan are two totally different things. Lifespan is how long they think that carpet might last, right? Damage says that carpet didn't last that long. Doesn't matter anymore because there's damage. Does that make sense?
Kind of, yes, but what if they were to ask to see the receipt of when you purchased it and then they say, and then let's just say hypothetically, they come to find out about lifespan. It's like, well, it's beyond the lifespan anyways, so you have to replace it on your dime.
You don't have to replace carpet if it's outlived its lifespan. If it's in good condition and there's no tears, no rips, it's not bunching up, and there's no worn marks, it has no bearing here.
Mm.
Let me ask you a question. How long have you lived in your house?
For 7 years.
How often do you replace the carpet?
Yeah, I haven't.
I'm just asking. Okay. So what they tried to do is give a perspective life on the wear and tear on how long they think this carpet should last. That has no bearing to anything we're doing. Okay. The lifespan on carpet, according to the Department of Business and Consumer Affairs, for landlord-tenant issues in the state of California is 5 years on carpet or 7 years on upgraded carpet.
Mm.
Okay, that is the lifespan for wear and tear. Okay, as far as landlord-tenant goes. So let me ask you a question. If my tenant moves in and my carpet's 20 years old and they live there for 5 years and they move out and the carpet's fine and I can clean it, am I still going to re-rent or am I going to replace the carpet? I'm going to re-rent. I'm not replacing the carpet. If it looks great and it's holding if it's still functioning and it's 20 years old, we're still rocking and rolling with that carpet. But if that tenant moves in and they have a fire in the living room and they decide they're going to pop popcorn with hot oil on a wok, and then that hot oil catches on fire in that open fireplace, so they try to put the fire out by dumping potted plants on a nylon carpet. Sorry, again, another one of my stories. Who's responsible? But that carpet had wear and tear. The wear and tear doesn't matter. No more. Wear and tear is gone. That wear and tear lifespan is out of the picture, and now we are talking about nothing but damage. And look at it this way. If that living room carpet is one seam carpet connected to the rest of the house, you might have, and you can't match it, they might have to pay to have the whole house recarpeted. Make sense?
Got it. I wouldn't have thought that. I've always kind of
I
eaten the
know, and
cost of it because I figured it's like the 5 years. Actually, that's what my previous property manager told me. She's like, "Oh, well, we have to replace it anyways. It's beyond the lifespan or whatever." But the regional said, "No, damages have nothing to do with, lifespan." So I don't know. I've
Right,
always
but
been
I'm
conservative.
just, it's the difference between a property manager in corporate America trying to make sure that everything is pristine every time they run a property versus the independent landlord who also wants to do things pristine, but it doesn't necessarily have to be brand new. Make sense?
Okay. Got it. Yes, thank you.
Corporate America usually changes carpet and paint 3 to 5 years. They flip it at every vacant unit, let's be honest, for the most part. But yeah, so it's 5 years on carpet, 7 years on upgraded carpet, and that's the lifespan. So what we're talking about is if your tenant moves into a property, okay, and they live there for 7 years, okay, and you put in upgraded carpet, and when they move out, there is wear and tear pathways, if you will, where the carpet pile is now lower or worn down in high traffic areas. That is wear and tear. Okay. If they spill nail polish remover all over the carpet and it's nylon and that melts the carpet, that's damage. They spill hair dye on the carpet and it stains, that's damage. And now that we're talking about carpet, I'm going to teach you guys something else, okay? You don't always have to replace carpet. Sometimes you can dye it. Wait, what did you say? You can dye carpet? Uh-huh. Talk to your carpet person. They can do all kinds of things. Just saying. I called my carpet cleaner one day because I fell asleep with a candle burning on my dresser. And that candle wax splattered 4 feet down as it hit my carpet, and I slept like a baby. It splattered in a 4-foot radius. So I called my handy dandy carpet guy and said, "Can you come help me, please?" You know what he did? He got all that wax up out of my carpet and then left a clean spot. So then I had to call him and have him come clean my whole house. But you'd be shocked what carpet cleaners and carpet guys can do. They're amazing, man. And if you need a help of a really good guy in the Inland Empire kind of area, I'd call Tom Anderson of Anderson's Carpet Cleaning. He runs out of Claremont in LA County. He's amazing. No joke. I saw something else come in. Okay, it's Julia saying, didn't know that. On the same topic of carpet, if there is damage on the carpet, but oh, okay, we talked about that. Does anybody have anything else that they want to talk about? Any pressing issues that need to be addressed? Here we go. Belsie's got something for me. Oh, Belsie, I have a property in LA City. It has 7 units. 3 of them are commercial and 4 of them are residential. How many trash containers the property should have? Hold on a second. You have 4 residential dwellings. The commercial dwellings should each be paying their own trash because they probably have to have a dumpster. But I don't know what their commercial building does. Does that make sense? It depends on what they do. The city only provided 3 containers, so everybody's trying to share. They are requesting to have a trash container each. The city says they only have 4 units registered. I would talk to the city about the, I cannot mute my snoring dog, okay? I'm sorry. I should undo this and take a picture so you guys can see she's just sitting there snoring away. If you guys want to see her, let me know. I'll do that. I'll turn off this and show you. At least she's not farting, Val. It could be much worse. You've done that to me before, okay? I will show you her. She's a sweetheart and she's just laying here snoring. So that's the noise you guys hear. Okay, sorry, squirrel. Let me go backwards. Making my cheeks hurt. Okay. You need to talk to the city and see if because you don't necessarily need to register the commercial. So they're saying they only have 4 units registered because under RSO, you don't have to register a commercial office space. So here's what I would do if it were me, okay? And it's going to be a battle regardless, okay? But what what the city's not accounting for is the commercial space. So you need to point that out to them. There's also 3 commercial units. That's why they're saying they only have 4 units registered. Is 4 units are with the city and the commercial buildings are not. And that's what your problem is. So you need to talk to them to make sure that they understand that some are commercial, some are residential, and there's a total of 7 units on the parcel so that they understand. Number 2, I've had this trash problem before in a commercial business, not with mixed use, just straight commercial, where the pizza people and Papa John's were generating too much trash and the people over at Subway didn't like it. And Starbucks had this whole blah, blah, blah. You guys understand what I'm talking about? You know how I fixed the problem? You're going to love it. I called the trash company and asked for an additional pickup every week. So instead of me having trash day on Tuesday, I had trash day on Tuesday and on Friday. And I put that extra expense on the common area maintenance for the CAM charges on the commercial building. You're welcome. Hope that all makes sense. Does that make sense? You got to tell me if that made sense to you or not. You got me, Belsie? So you can call the trash company, ask for an additional pickup. They're going to charge you an additional expense. Put that on the CAM charges for the commercial building. Yes, the commercial buildings should get their own trash containers. They should not be using the residential dwellings trash containers. Yes, bingo, you got it. I'd let the commercial buildings get their own trash containers first. And then if you need an additional pickup, that's something else you can do. Okay, but let them get their own trash cans first. The reason that you only have 4 showing is because 4 residential units are registered. You got to make sure those 3 commercial that they know those are there too. So the commercial should get their own containers, absolutely, and they should be paying their own trash bill. Their business, right? Yep. Only add the additional pickup if you still need help later. Don't do it right now. Make commercial get their own bins. And then if that solves the problem, you don't have to add that additional pickup. If it doesn't solve the problem, the additional pickup works well. A lot of times we do that in apartment complexes. We have to order an additional pickup when a tenant moves in or a tenant moves out and fills up the dumpster in the freaking parking lot next to it, right? So we have to order an additional pickup. Anytime I order that additional pickup because the tenants overfilled the dumpster and it's that person that we know is moving out, I charge them for the additional dumpster pickup on their disposition of security deposit. Hi, my name's Patty. I'm here to help you.
But how can we prove that it's them and we don't have cameras on the building?
You don't have cameras on the building?
Oh,
You might want to put them on the building if you're going to hold them accountable.
okay. So if you don't have a camera, you can't really put that on their disposition, right?
Additional trash and debris removal expenses for the additional trash pickup. I've done it over and over again. And what I do is after they go over there and overfill the dumpster, I go out there and take a picture of it.
Okay.
Make sense?
Totally.
Because let them argue that to a judge. Well, I'm not the only one, but you're the one that was moving out. You know, the tenant in unit A didn't throw away a mattress and a couch, but you did. I hope, but that's how I do that, just so you know. Remember me, I don't want to pay for anything, so I'm gonna find a way to make sure that I'm not holding the bill at the end of the day. I'm gonna figure out who's responsible for the expense, because I don't want it to be me. And sometimes it is, I get it, but I don't want it to be me. Just like I don't want it to be you. Sorry, I'm getting all these messages right now from PRC. What time do you want lunch delivered tomorrow? And I can't respond to them. So you guys, what time do we want lunch delivered tomorrow? 11:30 sound good? I mean, it starts at 11. I'm thinking 11:30. Does that sound good? Because people can eat while I'm talking. I'm fine with that. You guys are all helping me and you don't even know it. All right, I see more stuff. Hang on, hang on. Belsie got her answer. Okay, Val's back. Different tenant is having termite issues. Oh shit, Val. Okay. Big deep breath. I'm going to have our regular exterminator give it a try before major work's needed. This happens tomorrow. If the exterminator says it must be tenant, I suppose I need to pay for a tenant's hotel. Can I ask you a question off the record, Val? Does the tenant have renter's insurance? Okay, then you're paying for a hotel. The other thing that you can do is tell them that you're giving them a rent credit and that ask them if they can provide, if they can stay at a friend's house for a couple days or if they need a hotel. See how I worded that? Do you have a friend or a family member you can stay with for just a couple of days while this is going on? Otherwise, we're gonna have to put you in a hotel. Let them tell you, because let me tell you guys, wait, let me see who's in here before I tell you a story, okay? Okay, I'm good. I'll tell the story. I just don't want to tell a story of something that happened if it involves anybody else and that person might hear anything or it might upset them. So, and my goal is never to upset anyone. Let me tell you guys something that happened to me once, okay? I was in Anaheim and I was staying in a hotel. And I don't like to stay in hotels anymore. So one of your tenants may say, oh no, I'm not staying in a hotel. I want to go stay at my mom's. Don't even worry about putting me in a hotel. I'm not doing that. Let me tell you something. I was fine with hotels till one day. I was at a hotel in Anaheim. I was studying to take my broker's exam. Okay. And I was doing a class down there where you went for the weekend and then you went and sat there for 8 hours and just they pounded your brain. One of those crash course things. Okay. I was doing that. And I was in a hotel. And I didn't know at the time, but I had this dream and it was horrible, horrible. Okay. I had a dream that I was in the hotel in my bed and somebody opened my hotel room door. And I said, hey, what are you doing in here? And they said, well, this is my room. What are you doing in here? And I said, no, 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 this is my room. I'm sleeping in my bed. Apparently the front desk has made a mistake. You need to get out. And the person started walking over to me. It was a gentleman and a lady. And he said, oh, no, we'll fix this right now. We'll call down to the front desk. And he reached to grab the phone off of the nightstand next to me and then wrapped the cord around my neck. That's when I woke up. Okay. You imagine? So I wake up in this hotel and that was the dream I just had. It is 3 o'clock in the morning. I have to get up in 4 hours. I haven't gotten any sleep. I'm stressed out. All this is going on. And now I think I'm going to go back to bed. Nope. I had to go down to the lobby in my pajamas, ask the valet to bring my car over so I could retrieve something out of the trunk, just so I could go back to bed. So with that being said, some of your tenants may go, I'm not going to a hotel. And that may be an easy button for you. So the only way to figure that out is go talk to them. Hey, do you have a friend's house or a family member? I didn't say anything. How did you go back to sleep when you're uncomfortable? And it was so funny because the valet's got my door open and he's looking at me in my pajamas and my slippers. I walk around to the trunk. I'm messing in the trunk and he's standing there holding the door for me. I close the trunk and I'm like, that'll be all. And he's like, huh? And I'm like, I needed something out of the trunk. Thanks. I handed him $10 and went back to bed. The things we do, right? Yes. If they had renter, look, let me explain this to you guys, okay? Renter's insurance protects the tenant in the event they're displaced on their rental. So if there's a fire, a flood, if you need to do major repairs and you got to move them to a hotel for 2 weeks, their renter's insurance may pay for that. They're also going to pay for their food allowance, their laundry allowance, any incidentals that happen while they're out of the unit. That's why renter's insurance is such a godsend for us as landlords, because when an oh, holy crap happens, we just reach up and hit the easy button. I'm so sorry to hear that. Here's one that'll make you guys go, what'd you say, Patty? I'm so sorry to hear that the swamp cooler at the property fell through the ceiling and landed in the middle of your living room. Unfortunately, we're going to have to ask you to move out for about 6 weeks so that we can fix that. Contact your insurance company and they'll pay to put you in the hotel, and we'll pay your deductible, and we'll give you a rent credit for the time that you're out of the property. How much did that cost me, the landlord? Oh, I know, it cost me their deductible. How much is that for a tenant? Oh, it's usually $50, $100. Okay, I'm in. It's cheaper than the hotel. Got it? Okay, Belsey, the rent rate per the lease agreement is $2,300. If the owner down the rent to help the tenant who is struggling paying the rent only 3 months, late fees would apply at the reduced rent rate, or would it be applied at the base rent of the lease? Stop. Stop. You're making it way too confusing. Let me do it a different way, okay? The owner is offering a reduction in rent for a period of time of 3 months. If the rent is $2,300 and they want to give them $300 off for 3 months, you're basically going to write an addendum that says that the landlord is giving them a discounted rent for the next 90 days, and their rent will only be $2,000 instead of $2,300. Can I say something else? Once you get behind, it's really hard to catch back up again. And when I say really hard, usually it takes a income tax refund to help. And a lot of times I don't do a reduction in rent to help them. I make a payment plan instead. Because once you start reducing rent to help them, it's not enough. It's never enough. Does that make sense? So I will put them on a payment plan, but I don't, if you're in LA County, don't try to enforce late fees. If they pay you the late fees, take them, smile, and say thank you. But don't pursue them. Don't serve a notice for them. Don't evict them for a late fee. They're too heavily argued right now and we're going to lose it. So don't even, our argument for late fees sucks, okay? Just saying. No addendum since it was created, since it was into the agreement between owner and tenant. I just found out the tenant did not pay according to their agreement. If the tenant didn't pay according to their agreement, then I would serve a 3-day notice to pay rent or quit, or let the tenant know. At this point, I'm about to have to do my job. This is one of my favorite sentences, okay? So pay attention. Knocking and talking. Hey girl, I know we've been trying to reduce your rent and the landlord's been willing to work with you. Unfortunately, we've been going down that road for quite some time of trying to work with you and get this situated. That road doesn't work for the owner anymore, and he's now seeking possession of the property. So rather than evict you and go through the legal process, I wanted to see if we can come to an agreement for you to vacate. In the event that happens, I may be able to remove some of your past due rent if you vacate on your own rather than us going through the legal process. So what are your intentions? Let's talk about this, see if we can come to an agreement that works for both parties and avoid that legal process. Okay? It's worth a shot. If they tell you kick rocks with open-toed shoes and get out of here, you already know what you got to do. But at least you tried. The line of communication is open and you're attempting to have them do the right thing. No problem, Belsie. David, I hope I get to see you tomorrow. I hope you signed up. My property insurance recently sent me a notice that they no longer insure habitability claims. David, who's your insurance carrier?
I have to look it up, but I believe it's Core, C-O-R-E, something out of state, because it was hard to get anything else.
I have a gentleman at Homewell Insurance. If you need somebody, I can help get you quotes. I don't know what they're talking about because they're out of state. A habitability claim, that would be if a tenant tried to sue you, I think, for you breaching the warranty to provide habitable premises, meaning you're not doing repairs. That's a habitability claim. Does that make sense? So they may be, maybe you had that coverage. I've never heard of an owner that had habitability coverage. I've heard of owners having unlawful eviction coverage so that they were protected in the event they were sued for an unlawful eviction, but I've never heard of them having a habitability claim. So as nicely as I could say this, what you're speaking about isn't offered to most of us here in California anyway.
Do you have insurance that you can, companies that you can refer to us? Because it is
Yeah.
hard
Yeah,
trying to find an
call Ryan over at Homewell.
Homewell.
Yeah,
Thank you.
if you need a number, text me later. Oh, and everybody get out your pen right now. Everybody got a pen ready? Write this down. You ready? 760-953-3337. Everybody got that?
Repeat
Not-
one more time, please.
760-953-3337.
Okay.
Everybody got it?
Yes.
That is Patty's cell phone number. I'm getting rid of the 855 widget 5 number. Do you know they want $1,000 a year for me to have that phone number? No, not doing that. So I'm just letting you guys know I'm getting rid of the 800 number for Widget's Way. I'm not paying $1,000 for an 800 number, just so that my phone number is easy to remember. I know it was great. It was a good idea, but now it's just, that's ridiculous. No, we're not doing it. Thank you very much, but no. So now you guys all have my cell phone number. If you need to get a hold of me, feel free to do it. You guys can call me on the weekends, as you know, even after hours, as everybody on here will tell you, I answer the phone if I'm awake.
Thank you.
Somebody called me 3 weeks ago at 2 a.m. No joke. And it was one of those nights I couldn't sleep. So I was awake and I answered the phone and she's like, "Oh my God, you answered." And I'm like, "Well, yeah, I happen to be awake." And she said, help me. And I'm like, "Don't call me, baby. Call the fire department and then call your insurance company. Okay. And then if you need help, I'll help you." That's who you need to call today. Not me.
What about the 855, the 909, and the 760 area code numbers? Are those still good?
Throw away the 909. Throw away the 855. Keep the 760.
Okay.
Oh, you're gonna send me the new contact?
Yeah. Yes.
760-953-3337. Got it? The 855 is the 800 number to Widget's Way that I'm getting rid of. The 909 number was to fast evictions. All All right, I got more. My deductible is $2,500. We had a recent kitchen fire in the rental with no renter's insurance. They wanted to stay in the house anyway. However, the fire report stated that the cause is a stove on fire. Tenant said no one was using this stove. Doubt it. Anywho, my question is, can I charge the tenant my $2,500 deductible? Do you want to keep the tenant in possession? Yes, Val, you have the correct number in there. Thank you. The tenants can stay in the possession, then yeah, you can charge them the $2,500 deductible. You can attempt to charge it to them to replace the fire damage due to their negligence. You didn't cause that fire, right? You didn't go over there and cook that food, so it's gonna fall on them. But yeah, you can ask them to pay the $2,500 deductible. You could actually sue them in small claims court for that $2,500 deductible if need be, because you didn't evict. Got it? If you didn't evict, I'm okay with you going to small claims. I'm okay with you poking them in the eye. But if you evicted, I don't want, when they're looking in with a microscope, and of all things that they pulled out was there was no phone number on the notice. We all know that that's bad. How did a whole jury, a judge, they all missed it? I don't know. I just work here. How can she? Okay, these are the weirdos that have 30 cats. Ah, got you. Okay, Val. Yeah, charge them $2,500. But how can she prove it on the stove? Hang on, you guys. Hang on. The fire department's fire report said that it was a grease fire from cooking. It's a grease fire from cleanliness. Is that at any fault of the owner? No. All falls on the tenant. If it was an electrical fire, we would not be having this conversation because that would be on the owner, yes? But this is due to improper housekeeping. I'm trying. Okay, here's the other issue. Val, you always have like 7 issues, 8 issues, never one. The whole house was smoky, of course, but the insurance guy said he wasn't going to give me any money because the carpet smelled more like cats than smoke. That doesn't sound right. Ah, he's trying to get you on the condition of the premises and not have to pay you what it would cost to repair that. So here's what I want you to ask him. Well, does that include the AC ducting, the heating? Because when you have smoke, it goes everywhere. Smoke damage goes everywhere. It's on the drywall. Smoke usually rises. So, and you guys, I got you, but he won't pay for the carpet because of the cats. How old was the carpet? And here's where it gets funny. Okay, the insurance company's not going to pay for it, and your cats caused the damage. I have to replace it, or you don't have to pay me rent. And guess who's going to pay for the replacement cost? You, because your cats have damaged the carpet. Damage, no wear and tear allowance. Damage. It was new when they moved in, but they've been there for 7 years. It doesn't matter. Their cats have damaged the carpet. It doesn't matter if you put in brand new carpet and the people live there for 20 years. When they move out, if that carpet and that padding is full of cat piss, forgive me, then they have to pay to replace that carpet and that padding. Okay, that's how that works. It's damage. Okay, everybody got it? Anybody need anything else? We have photos of poop on carpet. Yeah, I get it. So now that's going to help your case when you charge these expenses back to the tenant. Also, and this is me talking, whenever I rip up carpet, I always cut it in strips. Hang on, I'm getting a phone call. Sorry, you guys, somebody's calling me. I always cut the carpet in strips and pull it up. I cut my carpet in about 3-foot strips because I'm short and that's about how much I can move at one time. And then I roll it up. When I'm doing that, I'm rolling it backwards so that I'm taking a picture of the back of the carpet. Why? So I can show that to a judge in court and show all the urine stains in the carpet, the backing in the carpet, and on the padding. Sometimes after I pull up the padding, I'm also showing them the urine damage on the subfloor. Okay? So it goes all the way through. That is damage all day long. It is not wear and tear. You do not have to give a lifespan. I just gave you a great example. I put in brand new carpet, tenant moves in, they move there for 15 years. They move out and the carpet looks great, but it smells of cat. I am charging them to replace the carpeting, the padding, and potentially sealing the subfloor to get rid of the odor. That is damage all day long. Okay? So because they damaged it with their pets, they're responsible for that expense. You're going to have to put the flooring in, Val, because if you don't, then you're not providing a habitable dwelling. So you're kind of in a catch-22, but ultimately they're responsible for the expense. Also, you can't get blood out of a turnip. And my theory would be if the insurance company isn't going to replace the carpet and the tenant's living there with the urine saturated carpet anyway, then they get what they get and they don't have a fit. But hey, you can't make them all do it, right? All right, I'm going to figure out how to turn off my thing so I can turn my camera around so you guys can see my sleeping, snoring, farting dog. Anybody else have a question? Fire them away. Fire them away. Julia, can you go over your move out protocol and what repairs you get done? I use the move out inspection form, usually the same one that they conduct and give to me. And then I go from there comparing what they have. And let me think about this for a minute. And what's going on? Yeah, I would say, yeah. So what I do is I start with what needs to be done most. Usually it's a trash out needs to be done first. But I think that I'll go over a move out class. I'm actually going to write this down and we'll schedule a move out course next Wednesday, okay? And I'll do you the whole pinpoint all the way around it. Does that make sense? Okay, so that works. Good. Awesome. Oh, goodness. All right. Does anybody else have anything that they need to talk about before we get off of here? Nobody?
What time, live stream tomorrow? What time should we tune in?
11 a.m. 11 a.m. And you guys should just got an email. I'm going to see if he'll email it out. He just sent me the link. That'll be at 11. We're going to be talking about preparing yourself for court, how to avoid court, because let's face it, that's what we all really want to know. And we have some key information coming in with some angels on our shoulders that are going to help us from angles we didn't even know existed. So with that being said, I'm excited about tomorrow. Should be really interesting. I'm excited to hear Dan speak about Prop 33 and Prop 34 and anything else that needs to be on our ballots. And it should be quite interesting. Oh, yay. All right. So tomorrow about 11, I'll shoot you guys out an email with the link so that you have it. Feel free to ask questions, but no, you're not going to be able to talk. You're going to have to type whatever your question is, because April, the money girl, is going to be reading them for me and then telling me what you guys need answered. So should be a lot of fun tomorrow. I will see you guys all then. And if you need anything in the meantime, feel free to give me a call. And remember, there's something out there that can help you now called a Save My Asset loan.
Patty,
Yes.
I'm sorry, I got a call and I had to take it. But tomorrow, I didn't hear it. Tomorrow, can we do Zoom or do we have to be there in person?
Either.
Okay, and then where would I get more information on how to join the Zoom?
I'm going to send you an email.
Oh, excellent. Okay, perfect.
If you're able to come to Carson tomorrow, we're actually doing a nice, good lunch. So we'd love to have you in person. If you're able to make it, feel free. If not, then please join us. I'm going to do it through Widget's way. That way you guys can see everything that's going on. And I'm going to start doing more of these with the live and in persons, so that for those of us that are sitting somewhere else and we're not able to come and participate, at least we are listening to what's going on.
And it'll start like at 11. You said?
It's yes, from 11 to 2 tomorrow.
Okay, thank you so much.
No problem. I was hoping you would show up there. I have another client I need to send to you. So we're going to be talking here in the next couple weeks, okay?
Excellent, thank you.
Hey, teamwork, baby. We're all a big team, okay? And I saw something else regarding a Save My Asset loan, and now I'm trying to find it. Hang on. I saw the question. Can a renter apply for the Save My Asset loan? Is that what it's really called? Yes, Val, that is what it's really called. And I know it's a play on words, but come on, you guys, we've been playing with this play on words for quite some time now. But it is basically going to run like a second or a third, and it's to help landlords be able to afford the expenses that they're dealing with right now by using the equity that's in their home to bail them out. That way they're paying it back over the course of years instead of just trying to figure out how to get the tenant out right now. So it's only for owners. It is not for tenants. It's basically, and I know very little about it. I see my expert here, but she's going to talk more about these tomorrow. So you guys will get the whole spiel on how these loans are going to work tomorrow. I just wanted to give you a tidbit of, hey, there's somebody else out there that's willing to help all of us landlords. And we've come up with this plan. And I think that for those of us that our ship is sinking quickly, this is actually the life jacket that we need, and it makes sense across the board. So just wanted to bring that to your attention and let you know that there's more hands out there. Are there any other assistance programs for legal Americans? Not that I'm aware of. And thank you, Val. That made me chuckle from the inside out. Trying to be cautious. Say what I want, but I'm being a good girl. Yeah, the Save Your Asset loan is only for owners. It is not for tenants. I don't know of anybody that would be lending tenants money to help them out because, yeah, that's a sinking ship. All right, anybody have anything else? Otherwise, I am going to get off of here. I hope to see all of you again tomorrow, whether it be live and in person or via the internet. I would love to see you and hang out. All right, bye everybody. I love you lots. I'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you, Patty.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, I'm horribly not doing this properly. Oh, I figured it out maybe. Nope. There it is. Bye everybody.